what is inner peace and potentially what blocks it. Because let's face it, I think, and it's a wee bit like how we were just talking about being at a zero. Being at a zero, it would be feeling very peaceful, inner peace and external. And so we were kind of saying, well, you don't want to always be that way. But you see, inner peace can still be recognizing chaos around you. You can still feel a sense of ease or inner peace, knowing that everything's working the way it's supposed to.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Hello. Welcome to Deliciously Motivated Mindset podcast with Debz and Moira. Welcome, Moira.
Thank you, my dear. Always so much fun to hang out here and have these conversations with you.
I know. Someone said to me, how did these all start? I'm like, well, there's a podcast on its own.
Yeah.
There's a podcast on its own. But
Maybe one day we'll have to tell you that story.
Yeah. Even though we're different, we're not different at all. Just nope. She's brunette and I'm blonde. There you go. And she talks funny and I don't.
No, you talk normal and I talk weird.
That's the one. And I snort and Moira doesn't. Yeah.
No, I have been known to. Just
I've never heard you snort.
Well, maybe I haven't done it on public recordings like this.
So it's just me.
Just
me. And the people now are going, okay, righto.
Okay, what are these weirdos talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, welcome people. Welcome. We are doing our Deliciously Motivated Mindset podcast, as you know, because you're listening to us. But to get started, one of the things we do, whether you've listened to us before or not, is we rate ourselves on a scale of 0 to 10. And it's just a little check-in to see where you are emotionally, physically, spiritually.
Yeah,
mentally, yeah, of course. Just where you're at. And so with 10, no, I don't talk funny at all.
No.
10 being crazy
feeling
chaotic.
Really stuck and chaotic and not knowing,
frazzled,
definitely,
like you've gone out in the wind and your hair's just frazzled.
Oh, I know that one.
Yeah, Moira's in winter right now, we're in summer. She's got a bit more wind than us, so that's a 10.
Yep,
that's a 10. And a 0 is 0 for zen.
0 for zen, peaced out, blissed out, feeling really calm, feeling very present. And you often say poised. I like that word too for 0. Yeah,
it is totally poised and present.
Yeah.
Just went on a trip then in my head. So that's a 0. So we rate ourselves at the start. There's a little check-in. We encourage you when we have a little halftime break to just check in with yourself then.
Yeah.
While you're listening to the voice, what number you are, and then at the end we also do it, and our intention is to bring you from that higher number down closer to the 0.
But of course, bearing in mind that we change, we all go up and down that scale. So this is just about awareness building. It's not saying, oh, I need to always be around a 0. It's like it's actually impossible anyway, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a 0 all the time because I'd
be a bit vanilla.
Yeah. You've got to have, well, this is perfect as we go into our segment today, actually.
Yes, very much
0. So. Yes. So anyway, so do not compare yourself to Moira's answer, and do not compare yourself to mine. I do have to say that straight away. So Moira, I don't even know what number I'd be. What number would you be right here, right now? Do this.
Right here, right now. I'm feeling really good. And actually, it feels like to me, I'm going to give you two numbers, because for me, in my own space, in my own life, I'm going to put myself at a 0.5.
Yeah.
But for the topic, I'm going to put myself at a 2.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm going to I would have said I was a 1, but I'm actually going to put myself as a 1.5, because I've got this little my throat that's annoying me just the last couple since we've started doing this. So I'm just going to say a 1.5, because there's clearly something I got to get off my chest, which is obviously going to come out.
It'll come
in here. So I'm going to say a 1.5. And so if you're a 0.5 and a
2, so which actually kind of equals out to 1.5 anyway.
Oh. Okay, so we're the same.
We're the same.
She copied me.
I just did some math, that's all.
Some math. Yeah. Well, rather you than me. It's too early for me to think. So then we just jot that down, and then we carry on. And then at the end we check in where we're at. Yeah. So today's topic is
a good one.
Goodie.
It's a goodie.
Yeah. What blocks inner peace? And we are now going to take you on a tangent of who knows, because we don't even know. But I will say, get a pen, P-E-N, or pencil and paper, and just start jotting down the notes. I personally find pen and paper helpful instead of typing into your notes. But if you're driving, I wouldn't suggest you do that. But if you're sitting down at your computer or something, just, move your distractions away and just sit and listen. And this will help you regurgitate your brain to another level.
And potentially, the whole point of this is what we're going to go in and kind of unpack and lift the hood on what is inner peace and potentially what blocks it. Because let's face it, I think, and it's a wee bit like how we were just talking about being at a 0. Being at a 0, it would be feeling very peaceful, inner peace and external. And so we were kind of saying, well, you don't want to always be that way. But you see, inner peace can still be recognizing chaos around you. You can still feel a sense of ease or inner peace, knowing that everything's working the way it's supposed to. As opposed to one of the key pieces to me that would block inner peace is indignation and judgment within you. Right? By indignation, I mean like having a little, and sometimes I call this the tail flick, that you see somebody do something and you go, but that's not right. Yeah. Right? You just thrown yourself off. And it comes
very quickly.
It does. That's why I call it tail flick.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love the way you've got. I love this. What blocks inner peace? But you can, like you said, if you're poised, and I do love that word poised. If you're poised, you can actually, if you're really poised and present, you can see that go around, and then you can pick and choose if you're going to play that crazy world or just opt just to look at it and go, wow, I'm not going to react. I'm just going to sit poised and present. And what do they say? Not my monkey, not my.
It's not my circus, not my monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're watching that, you're still going to see it. But then you can pick and choose. Oh, I'm just going to actually sit here and just know that I'm in a safe environment. They're in a safe environment, and I can watch that.
Yes. And but coming from a sense of inner peace. So this is also reminding me of the actual definition of mindfulness. So mindfulness is making the conscious choice to stay present and be present and okay with whatever is happening.
And just be.
Like without it. So it's without trying to change it. So let's say that in this present moment, and you do that check-in, 0 to 10, where are you? Maybe you're at 5. Mindfulness and inner peace is created and nurtured and nourished even by just saying, I'm at 5. You can put whatever label and then just stay with it. Don't try and change it. Don't try and run away from it. Just keep breathing. Right?
Yeah, well, that's that whole acknowledging, just going,
yes.
And so it is. And so it is, or just, oh, okay, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get that. And then that whole, that'll explain that.
Right.
And that's what I love about these numbers. It's like, well, you are running late to work, or you're running late, and then you can go, oh my God, I get there and I'm an 8. Well, when I left home, I was a 2.
Right.
Well, no wonder, because you had crazy traffic, people, distractions, phone calls, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that'll explain what turned me from a 2 to an 8.
But don't you think in that scenario too that it is a little bit of a nudge or a tap on our shoulder to be aware of any storytelling that we might be getting involved with about the traffic or the traffic jam or those kind of things? It's just that. It's a traffic jam. It's not a how dare they, and it's always this and right. That will derail your sense of inner peace too, and potentially take you higher up to a 10, toward a 10 or higher even sometimes.
Yeah, toward a 10 or higher. Yeah, I think the thing is being okay with whatever it is.
That's right.
And so when you're not okay and you are attached to, well, I guess it's that attached to the outcome and things aren't going your way, that blocks your inner peace. But what would you describe inner peace as being, if you were to describe that?
I think that it's a wee bit like in the thing about the not my monkey, not my circus. To me, inner peace is just being okay with everything that's going on. And
the
you don't
chaos,
have to, there's chaos,
the
there's suffering, there's
the thunderstorm, the rain,
the suffering, the pain, the angst, the animosity and judgment and whatever else is going on, that by sitting with a sense of peace, it's when we do that individually that we create space or the opportunity for other people to sit in that too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying about it's not about I'm going to do a meditation and feel into
non-reactive.
Yes. Yeah. Non-reactive is a really good way of saying it. So it's just saying, oh, well, that's an interesting viewpoint. Oh, look at that. And that's what I say, that inner peace it's like the acceptance of everything that is without getting into a narration or making up a story about stuff. Because that will deplete. That will drain your peace. Yeah.
You go down that tunnel and you can't get out of that tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not true. Right? Because it's a narration by maybe some aspect of you or some comparison that you've got going or some tape that you've got running without even being completely aware of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So peace to me is such a heavy word. I think of peace and I instantly go to Gandhi.
Okay.
And I think of peace of being just an absolute blissful place. But knowing that you can call upon that at any time, wherever you are, you don't have to go and be meditating to call in your inner peace. You can be in a chaotic traffic jam.
Right, you can absolutely, and
I think probably the more I've realized that, because I was a believer that you have to find a quiet spot and you have to do this and you have to do that and you have, it's that whole cross-legged.
Meditate for 3 hours.
Yeah, that's it. And put your phone away, and the whole time you think about the kids or the grocery list or whatever.
What's the weather doing?
There's a fly happening. Can I open one eye? Yeah. And I think that was my theory of peace, finding peace. But you can have that inner peace wherever, whenever you feel it.
You do.
And one of the things I do is put my hand on my heart.
Yeah.
Thank you,
and
Moira.
that to me that's the anchor. hand on your heart and a deep breath, and you immediately step into your sense of inner peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, the biggest thing that blocks that is getting too caught up in your mental chatter.
Just ignoring the,
yeah,
listening to the Pac-Man that
exactly
come in, instead of actually letting the Pac-Man fly past you. Yeah.
Exactly. I've talked to you about this before, about the idea of seeing your mind, or feeling like your mind is the clear blue sky. That's who your mind is. And then all thoughts are clouds, right? So it can become a completely,
I think you've told me this before. Maybe you haven't listened.
So you see, if your mind would become completely occluded by all these storm clouds, right? You've actually lost sight of your inner peace. So that would be a really big piece around this, blocking inner peace. But with your breath, and this is the thing that I've always loved, is I can blow the sky clear with a deep breath. So you breathe in through your nose and blow it forcefully out your mouth with the attitude of, I'm blowing all these clouds out because I want a clear blue sky again.
Yeah.
And right there, just in that split second, it
happens.
There it is.
Isn't that crazy? That is just one scenario that will work. But you've got to believe it as well, is the other thing.
You've got to believe it, but you got to do it.
Yeah, as I suck in all the dark clouds, and now they're filling my body, and
but you see that that's a story.
Yeah, totally.
That was a narration, because but if you did that, then they would just dissipate out through you. It's like, yep, they were felt, acknowledged by you, bye, they're gone.
Well, I mean, I know when I hear things, there's that, oh, just do that. I know when I first started my business, my mentor just said, well, this is what you do. You just go out and you start talking to people. And I was like, oh, okay. And I did. I just started talking to people, and they're like, oh, wow, what do you do? And then I told them, and it just sort of flowed, and because it just felt right.
Right.
And then, 3 months later, people were like, but you can't make money in your first year of business, and you can't do this, and you can't do this. And I was like, what? Can't? But I have. Yeah. And then I started taking on those stories. Right. Of other people. So what blocked my inner peace was that Pac-Man, that outside sources, those influences that I allowed into my world. And then I was like, oh my God, my business is being affected. Where did this come back to? Until I went back to that moment and went, oh, I remember it started with her. Right. And it ended with him. Right. And I listened to all that. And I'm like, oh, come on. Worked out the value of them
your inner
that.
peace, your inner peace got derailed because of absorbing the narration or the stories from other people. And that's something that I've often done with my clients myself, is when they start saying things to me of, oh, I can't do this. Oh, it can't work that way. I always stop them and say, who said that? Where did it come from? Who said that? And it might be, oh, it was my parent, or it was my partner, or it was a failed relationship.
Well, that was one of the biggest insights that I had. I was like, oh my God, I've been listening to people. And the moment I went, what's the value of listening to them? Okay, it took me off track, got me this story, and then suddenly back to my business and just skyrocketed. So when people would say to me, oh, I don't know if I could start a business, because you can't start a business and make money. Can't you? I did.
Exactly.
And then instantly you've just taken that whole story and created one that I did. And then you can unpack that story of who told you that. Right. Who said that? And but then they're like, oh, okay, well, we can't have that story around Deborah, so we might as well just let it go and build it.
Exactly. And that's a really, really good point, because you see, when people have those kind of opinions, like, they're technically trying to be helpful, but we've got quotation marks.
I know. So it wasn't, or you're not going to make any money in the first year, or and I believed it. I was like, oh my God, really? And then I'm like, hang on.
Yeah. Hang on a minute.
I made more money the last 3 months than I had in, the last 6 months in my full-time job or whatever. Right.
Which is why we're saying about this, when we really get anchored into our own sense of inner peace and our own understanding that it's our inner landscape that we then share in our business, with our friends, with our family, with those who we are called upon to serve, or to support, those kind of things. But if you have somebody saying, oh, well, you can't do that, or this is how it's going to be, pause and keep hold of that sense of inner knowing and inner peace and say thank you. That's just an opinion.
Yeah, but that just shuts it down as soon
it
as
does.
But if you say it nice, like
yes,
from the
yes,
heart,
you do it from with courtesy and but also with a strong
certainty.
Yes, strong certainty that you're still the boss of you. I'm the boss of me. And so if I'm the boss of me, I don't have to take on your reality or your way of looking at something, but I can say thank you. Because like I say, if somebody's doing that, they're saying, oh, I need to keep you safe. Don't want you to suffer, but it's from a different perspective and doesn't have to be yours.
And I think the key, what you said, if we go back, was you said they're doing it because they think they're being helpful. They generally just have heard it themselves. They've attached to it. They believe it. They just want to help you. And it's like, does it? I'm sure we've talked about the 99 reasons before. So somebody will say, let's do this. And one person goes, oh, great idea. Let's go to the beach today.
Yeah.
And the other one goes, oh, there'll be limited parking. It's too hot for the kids. We haven't got enough of this. And then there's one person goes, oh, let's go to the beach. And then the other one goes, there's 99 reasons not to go.
Right.
And that scenario, the 99 reasons, has really resonated with me so much. I will watch even a movie. Like I watched a movie the other night and all of a sudden somebody suggested something, and even in the movie, and this person came up with 99 reasons not to. There wasn't 99 reasons, but it felt like it was like, well, what if this happens and what if this and this? And I was like, oh, there's that 99 reasons.
Right.
And every day I feel I come across somebody with this 99 reasons.
I can totally relate. Yeah.
So even just that, and that's their story. That's their stuff that you just, and so for me, I'm loving finding 99 reasons. Well, not for me. I mean, I stick to that one right now. But I mean, even in the supermarket, someone will go, oh, let's get these type of things. Oh, but I don't know, they're not good. And Nana might not like them. And I'm just like, oh my God, there's 99 reasons. Right. And then I'm amused, and then I keep tootling down the aisle and I hear someone else say. So even that's just a massive story, is 99 reasons not to, with that Pac-Man coming in and having that input.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
But don't you find that a lot of those 99 reasons would have just been made up stories that were inherited or somebody heard? Because you're reminding me of this story, and this is like as we're speaking, I'm in winter and Deb's in summer. But this story was
even our clothes are indicating that.
Yes, they are. No, this was either last summer or the summer before. I really wanted to go to the beach, and so I said to my husband, "Let's go to the beach. We can take some coolers and take our swimsuit, because it was a beautiful day. Go for a swim." And he was like, "No, nope. It's going to be packed. There's going to be no shade, and I can't sit outside in the shade." And I don't know if he came up with 99 reasons, but he came up with a lot. And so in the end, like, I was really, really hell-bent on this. I wanted to go to the beach. And I actually got to the point of I was prepared to go by myself if I had to. Like, I was just going to go.
Well, this is where arguments happen. This is how it can escalate.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what I did was I said to him, "Will you please just come with me? Just come with me. And if there is no shade, we can come back." And then like, because I was speaking to some of his arguments, and then of course We go there,
Yeah,
and it was quite busy, but we got this beautiful spot that was a clear pathway right into the lake and underneath a tree. And so space to put both chairs, and it was fine.
And you don't need to go, told you so.
No, I wouldn't do that. I would just happily go, like, I'm off for a swim now.
Yeah, sitting present. I know. The 99 Reasons is I see it daily. And just now that I'm aware of it, it actually amuses me. I go, oh, there it is.
I find it amusing too. Yeah.
When I noticed it on TV, I was like, oh, there's 99 reasons. Oh, that person's doing it. Oh, and it just, from a human behavior point of view, it amuses me just to hear that. And that's the stuff that completely blocks your inner peace.
Yeah.
You can definitely listen to that person and go, there's no shade, there's da-da-da. Yeah. So I'm a strategist, and so are you, Moira, that when someone says a problem, my mind goes, tick, 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 let's resolve it. So when someone goes, oh, there's going to be no shade, I'm like, oh, well, I know where the umbrella is. It's really easy. It's easily carryable. It's got a carry case.
Exactly.
Like,
yep.
What's the next? Yeah. What? Yeah. Tick, 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 tick.
What's the next reason?
I know. So I jump into that mode, which can drive people crazy, I'm sure. But I'm not going to let you have that 99 reason, because this is what life is about. Life is about having, if you want to call it inner peace or sanctuary or poised or
calmness
zero.
or zero. Yeah, or zero.
Zen. Whatever you want to label it. It's just finding that space that you can go to that feels fulfilled in your whole being.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the 99 reasons are going to get debunked from me.
and me too. Yeah. So watch out. Debz and Moira are gonna just totally debunk them.
Yeah, just be aware of your 99 reasons, people, because and when you hear it, and there's no judgment in this. There's absolutely no judgment. But when you hear yourself go, oh, I just did 3 reasons not to, just go, oh, giggle, and move on. That's all you got to do. So you don't have to go, oh my God, poor me, I've got to 3 reasons, I've got another 97 to go, or 96, whatever. No, 97, yeah, Moira does maths, I don't, yeah. But like, just let it go, just go, okay, well, there you go, I've recognized it, I've acknowledged it, okay.
You know, the other big piece in this that, and I often refer to Einstein-isms.
Oh, yeah.
Albert Einstein said words to the effect that for a problem to exist, the solution has to already exist too, because one cannot exist without the other. And so, and to your point, being a strategist, I'm wired that way. If somebody says, but this is an issue, I'm immediately thinking, well, the solution's here, so I'm going to choose, because it is a choice, right? You can sit and keep telling the story about that there's no shade and there's this and there's that, but you can also say, yes, but there's also this and that, right? So it's about choice. Where does it feel better to put your attention? Don't know about you, but I like looking at that. Yes, I can do this end of the spectrum, right?
Yeah, I think absolutely. And I think for me is if you can recognize that, when I say me, for you listeners, if you can recognize that, you don't have to jump into strategy mode, but you can just go, oh, I see this.
Yes.
Oh, I see this again in me. Oh, I see it in my mum. Oh, I see it in my brother-in-law. Oh,
just awareness. Yeah, just awareness.
Then you may sit in that space for 3 months, just seeing that, and then go, okay, it's time. What's the next step? That's not another podcast, by the way. Well, probably is. But the next step is actually acknowledging it and then doing something about it. Yeah. But you must, without trying to fix people, you must look at yourself first.
It always starts on the inside. So this would be like, from what you're saying, creating that awareness, and there's no time limit on this. It's like whatever you need to do. Limit. And oftentimes, when we see it in another and go, oh, look, there's that person doing that, it's actually more of a tap for you. It's like, yep, is there a different nuance of how you do it or how you're wired? And then come back to, where is inner peace for you?
Hand on the heart.
Hand on the heart, and just choose. I choose sanctuary. I choose inner peace. I choose calmness and engagement with the essence of me.
I think the key there is the two words, I choose.
I choose.
My fingers pointed out is I choose.
Yeah.
I choose. I choose whatever.
Because that's what I mean when I say I'm the boss of me. We all are. So if somebody comes along to me and says, oh, everything's so chaotic and terrible and awful and, life sucks. Okay, I'll hold space for you. But I'm going to sit and hold space from the place that I know inner peace is in there for you. But it does start on the inside.
Yeah, and judgment. You started off actually saying something about judgment. I can remember that. And that's where it sits, is comparing judgment on someone else, judgment on yourself. I should know better. I've had this happen to me 10 times in the last 5 years. Like, I should know better. Well, you didn't. And
no shooting. We don't do shooting.
No. And so are you going to change it, or are you just going to sit there and sulk about it, or are you going to recognize it, strategize, move on? See the value to what lesson you've got. And I think that's it, is that should, but comparing is a massive one, and that absolutely blocks inner peace. It absolutely
really does.
Blocks to a sickening level. I would say,
because it's making it conditional. It's making your inner peace conditional upon what somebody else telling you should and couldn't and can't, and right? Who are you? What do you have to believe in? What kind of, how do you have to look? What kind of filters do you put up in order to fit in or conform or belong?
Yeah.
And that's such an inner peace destroyer, because it's like you're not being true to you.
Yeah.
It's what we all need, is to be true to our own core.
Yeah, I think, absolutely. And when I think about this, I think we can go down that, and it's not even a hamster wheel. It's actually like the slinky. Do you know a slinky going down the stairs?
Yeah. And the spring.
The spring, and it just goes down and down and down and down and down. It keeps going till it hits the bottom.
Downward spiral, for sure.
Yeah. But what it does is it lands on its butt, and it stands, and it's all comes back together. So if you want to take those knocks of going down the stairs, bang, 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 you will end up okay at the end.
Yes.
But you must acknowledge that. And that's part of your inner peace. It's like, oh my God, I've actually survived that. Oh, yes, you did.
Yeah. But that to me brings us into another area about inner peace too, is when we can become aware of, you did land. You landed on your butt, but you're still there in one piece. But there's an awareness that's in all of us. It's just sometimes it takes us a wee bit longer than other times to actually get into this space, is that you always have the ability, the capacity to get through every single type of situation that you might find yourself in, whether it is a traffic jam or somebody yelling at you or some kind of health challenge. Sometimes we have to just take tiniest baby steps through the experience. And there will come a time. I know I've gone through experiences in my life where when I was right in the chaos or the trauma or the turmoil, if I tried to take on the idea I can get through this, or I've created this and I can
jump out of this vortex. Yeah.
It's not going to work. But I have an implicit trust in myself that I may not see it in this very moment, but I know it's there, and I just have to keep going, like I say, one step at a time. And sometimes it has to be tiny baby steps. And then there will become that pivotal moment where I go, there it is. I did know what I was doing.
Trust is a massive factor in all of this. Trust is a massive factor, and holding on to your integrity.
Absolutely. The truth of you. Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's the other thing is, trust that I'm going to get through it, but am I going to lose myself in this? No,
absolutely you're not.
Absolutely. Because, and I think that's it, acknowledging in the past, you've survived in the past.
Yeah.
You survived in the past, so you're going to survive again, no matter what you've been through and you thought you hadn't survived it. You know, you're here listening now. But I think that's that thing, is that trust, but also holding on to who you are.
Yes. And to your point too, appreciating all of the things that you have coped with and come through, that you might not be able to sit down and say, okay, and now I need to do this step, this step, this step, this step.
There's no rush.
There is that's trying to feel like you have to think your way through something, and that's not the way. That's certainly not the way. And that actually is another complete podcast.
Well, that's where you call upon Moira and I. You outsource your brain to Moira or I, and we start thinking through the process.
Yes, start unpacking those pathways, the neural pathways, and saying, your head and the thinking process is not the best way to resolve things or get back to that sense of inner peace.
Yeah.
Right.
Just think about that. I remember I had a mentor many years ago, and I got myself into a little frazzle, and he said to me, what would you tell your client? I was like, what? I pay you to give me answers. And he was like, now what would you tell your client if this was you? And I was like, oh God, in my mind I'm going, God, you're annoying me. I paid you to do this, answer my question. And I just went this and this. And he goes, well, then do it. And then I'm like, oh my God, you're right. Like, Deborah, like it just made so much sense. But I was cranky because I thought, I'm just going to outsource this. You can just tell me the answers. And it's like, often you have those answers here. And that's that being present and being poised. But I remember that. And I was like, well, what am I paying you for? This phone call. I was like, okay.
Yes. No, that's funny, because my husband used to do that. Not so much now. I guess I must be watching.
You probably just don't share with him. Yeah.
No, following my own, living by what I say. Living by what I say. But there had been times where he would say that to me. I was like, what would you say to somebody that were sitting in a funk like you are right now? Oh, I'd say this. Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
And you hear it. As soon as you hear it, you're like, you got me. Yeah.
All right, then.
And that is that whole poised and present. But if you were still frazzled, if you were still running that story over and over, you wouldn't be able to see that. And that's so right. It is getting that hand on the heart. What would you tell someone? I'll just tell them to stop and breathe and don't rush the process. We're all still living here or whatever.
But that actually brings up or makes me think of another time where I was in a funk and I actually did know what I needed to do process-wise, and I couldn't do it. Yeah. Because it's like, just because I knew the technique or the modality to help myself, I was in it. Yeah. And so I ended up reaching out to a mentor of mine and said, can I have a session with you? And first thing I said, I was like, I know the process I need to do. I need to run this. And I basically I suck because I can't do it on myself. And that was what she said. She turned around and she says, Moira, that is so not fair of you to do that to yourself. Because just because I knew it, that's why coaches like you and I have to exist. Because yes, it's good to say, what would you say to somebody? But if you're really in chaos, then you need to be able to say, help, can you hold my hand? Can you hold my hand to actually run this process, or rewrite the story, or help me get back to the sense of equilibrium? So that one was a really big nudge to me to remember that inner peace is always there, but you do need to call on support at times too.
Look, you look at the Prime Minister or President, Prime Minister, you look at any of those leaders, it's not just them making decisions. They've got a board of people, all advisors. You advise on this, you advise on this, you become the expert in this, this, and this, and I just get the expert opinion. Yep. I think that's really important. I had a convo with a gentleman just before a couple of weeks ago, and he's a coach himself, and he's beating himself up that he was, he spent 3 days lying on the couch. I'm like, and
so that's what we do.
I know.
Sometimes
it is
we have
funny.
to do that.
And I said, yeah, but if I lie on the couch now, I get my big satin pillow. So I lie down with, and he goes, what? He said, don't you like make it uncomfortable? I'm like, no, if I'm going to lie on the couch and watch a
do it
movie
all in.
or zone out, I'm like going for gold. And he was like, oh, I wouldn't think about that. And it just changed the whole state of our conversation, because I'm like, God, just own it. Like,
absolutely. And that's the thing about acceptance, is that we need our own loving acceptance. All of it,
well,
right?
Yeah. Well, he just said I couldn't reach out to anyone. I'm a coach, I was putting client. I'm like, that's okay. Like, it's and that's the stuff that blocks you in a piece, is that mind chatter that just goes crazy. Yeah, it was quite funny. He was like, you put a what? And I was like, yes, it's actually bigger than my pillow. It's like a big pillow, and it's a satin pillow slip, and I just lie in there. And he's like, of course you do, Deborah. Of course you do.
I love it.
I'm not gonna do it with no cushion.
No,
I'm going to lie down and make myself uncomfortable. What do you think I am?
Well, that's actually interesting, because that's actually blocks more inner peace, because there's punishment in there, right?
Yeah, I ain't going to punish myself.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm going to get the luxury pillow slip and the luxury pillow, and I'm going all out. I'm going bigger than Queen.
Go for the king.
Queen the singer, yeah.
Awesome. This has been a great conversation, and I hope that our listeners have got some ideas and some techniques, or just mindset on releasing those blocks that might be, creating less than the amount of inner peace that you actually have within you. It's there. It's waiting for you. It's going psst in your ear.
Yeah, psst, it is too. It is.
And so as Deb did with us at the beginning, checking in on our scale of 0 to 10, I encourage the listeners to, take note, just see, where are you now? And as always, if we can be of any help or support, or you need some more resources, you can message us directly or contact us through social media. We're here for you. But all that being said, you are at a 1.5 to begin with.
0.
So I called it a 1.5, but I said I personally was at a 0.5, and then I was at a 2 for the topic itself. And I would say I'm 0 also. I was really keen to draw some pieces out about inner peace, and I feel like I think we really did a good job on this conversation.
Yeah, we covered a variety of little topics there.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Wow. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thanks, Debz. Thank you, dear listeners. Look forward to our next conversation. Over and
the next
out.
One's going to be a goodie too.
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
But of course.
But of course.
But
yes.
of course.
Thank you, everyone.
Right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.